guys, Christina with Forever Bored Soapery here, and today I am doing a restock of all of my deodorants. Oh my goodness, I don't know what happened. Summer hit and everybody needed deodorant. I guess we're all a little smelly with all this heat and humidity we've been having, and I literally have one stick of deodorant left. I don't know what happened. It just sold quickly with all my markets here, and yeah, I had a gentleman in today and I was sold out of what he was looking for, so I need to make this a priority. It was already on today's list, but we're going to do the Rose Bouquet deodorant first because that's what he was looking for and he's coming back tomorrow for it, so I want to make sure his is on the shelves no matter what. And I did have somebody asking me for my recipe for this, so I don't even know that they were looking for my recipe, just more so how I make the deodorants, but I thought I could share it with you guys. I don't see a problem with that. So we'll give it a go here. So I start out, this makes about, I'm trying to decide how much rose I want to make, but I think I'm just gonna go for it and make the 16 sticks of it. So we start out with our coconut oil, and I need 525 grams of coconut oil for 16 sticks. Have I mentioned how much I am loving that I went back to Costco coconut oil? Just pouring away here like it's no big deal. So easy, not messing around, getting covered in stuff, trying to dig it out of the box. Super happy with that. Then I have to do my beeswax. And my beeswax, I'm gonna be at 90 for this recipe. So what I think I've been finding is some of my recipes or fragrances allow for a little bit more of the fragrance to be added, and I think that's where I'm finding certain ones are melting where other ones are not. So I think I've got it down that most of my recipes are at 85 grams for the beeswax, but because the Rose Bouquet is a little bit higher in the fragrance allowance, we're gonna go with 90 on that one, just to hopefully prevent it from getting too soft. So I've got just a little bit left over from my last one here. That's gonna give me like 7 grams there. So I need another 82.5 it looks like. So I get my beeswax, I know you can buy it and you can get the little pellets and everything else, but I'm really trying to support local where I can. I know you can't always, and I have a local provider who does her beeswax in, I think these are 1 pound blocks, so I tend to buy from her. I'm not a super fan of having to break it all up and cut through it and all that stuff. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I just make it work and beat it up. It's a little bit tricky when you get close to the end there, not to go over. Okay, so I need like 14 more grams. So close. Okay. So then we're going to take this guy, pop her back in there. I have an order coming with her for a couple more pounds, because once I start selling in the summer, I start selling in the summer like crazy. So now I gotta melt down my beeswax. So I'm just gonna pop that into the microwave to melt that down, and I can start mixing up the rest of it. So grab another one of these guys. So we had our 525 grams of coconut oil, our 90 grams of beeswax. Now I'm doing 96 grams of magnesium hydroxide. This is what I use, guys, instead of baking soda. So turns out I know a lot of people who have sensitivities to baking soda, and turned out I was one of them. So I was using my original recipe just fine for about a month or two. Things were great. And then all of a sudden I started breaking out in these crazy, very sore rashes. And I was like, what is going on? And I went to the doctor, and her response was just to stop using deodorants altogether, which is an option, I guess, but I wasn't really comfortable with that. I've used deodorants my whole life. So I kind of went back to a store-bought one, and I was fine. And I thought, okay, well, it's clearly something in my recipe. And I'd had so many people talk to me about the baking soda not being for them when they'd come to purchase and they'd find out there was baking soda in it. They were like, no, I have a sensitivity to it, I can't use it. And there was a fair amount of people. So I started doing some research, found out it's super common for people to have that sensitivity. So I looked for options that I could use instead. So magnesium hydroxide was one of the options that I could use. And I did some tests on it, tested on myself, tested on some family, worked out really well. In fact, I think it's a better deodorant than it was before, so I'm really happy with it. So now I need to add my arrowroot powder, and I'm adding 288 grams of the arrowroot powder. Need to do a double check on that one and see if I have another pail. I think I do, but I need to double check, because if I don't, it needs to go on my grocery list. Next we have our kaolin clay, and we're doing 84 grams of kaolin clay. There's a new skill I got. I don't think we're friends. I'm having a lot of troubles with it tarring out and doing what you want it to do when you want it to do it. I feel like I fiddle with it too much. And I think I just need batteries for my other one, so one day I'll get on it. That's the end of that bag. And I gotta get in and figure out how to organize and tidy my storage room, because I ordered kaolin clay, a whole bunch of it, because I thought I was way out, and I had a whole nother bag I didn't know I had. It'll work out fine. I'll totally use it, especially with having to stock up this much on deodorants. It'll go quick, but okay. Kaolin clay. And I think that's it for right now. So let's just double check the beeswax. I think it takes another minute. So we'll set this aside then, and what we'll do is we'll mix together our colorants. Come on now. See, like how many times do you have to hit tar? There we go. All right, so we've got to add our Optifin, and I'm doing 10.5 grams of Optifin. And my fragrance was at 3%, which I forgot to calculate, so bear with me here. 10, 20, 30, like 31 grams-ish. I think we'll just go with 30, which will be just fine. Math is not my strong suit, so I'd rather do less than too much. And my phone, which I'm recording on, is my calculator. Because, you know, I don't have all the things. Perfect. Now my beeswax isn't fully melted. I don't know if I can show this to you. You can see they're pretty big clumps in there still. I don't like my coconut oil to get too hot. So we're just going to mix it and let it slowly melt in the coconut oil. We'll just give it a minute and then I'll mix it again. While that's doing its thing, we're gonna add just a little bit of colorant. So I got 1/8 of a teaspoon here. I think I'm gonna go with 2/8 of a teaspoon on this one. I'm trying a different colorant today. It's the Magic Red Mica. We're gonna give it a shot. So yeah, I'm just, as I said, just stirring the beeswax down a bit. It just takes it a little bit longer to melt down because it's in those bigger, harder clumps than maybe your little pellets would. But again, just where I can, I just want to support local. And I do find my customers at the markets seem to appreciate that I am supporting another vendor who's a couple stalls down, or who they recognize the name or the town, that sort of thing. That definitely seems to be an asset for them. So, all right, we just got a couple of little chunks in here that are not quite going, so I'm just gonna give it another minute. And then that should be good. This guy needs a stir. So I just mixing my fragrances, my preservative, and my colorant all together here. We'll wait to add them for everything to cool down a bit. And this is my big mess. Still have just a few teeny pieces here. So I'm just gonna melt these down and then we'll mix it all together. And I will be switching to my whisk. I do tend to whisk it. I think that really helps me make sure that I don't get any like gritty clumps. Man, do I hear that feedback a lot when people go to buy my deodorant. Do you have the gritty clumps in your deodorant? And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, but apparently it's a thing. People are buying deodorants and they're getting these gritty clumps in them. I'm not sure what causes that or why that happens, but I don't seem to have that issue, and I'm assuming it's because I whisk my ingredients together. Or specific ingredients that I'm using don't cause that to happen. I'm not sure, but so far it has been a non-issue for me. Okay, so we are all dissolved. So now I'm just going to pour my coconut oil and my beeswax into all of my powders. I'm just setting that aside because I'm going to reuse that bowl because I am making a few different batches today. And then we're just whisking our lives away. to get all this stuff on the sides and the edges. Now, one of the things I tend to do is pour it too hot. I am so impatient. I can't bring myself to wait. I don't know why, but I tend to pour it too hot. I do get the little sinkhole in the middle that is caused from pouring too hot. And on occasion, I will get, when you go to twist it up in the container, it gets really hard to twist up. It's from me pouring it too hot. And I need to stop doing that. I noticed the last batch of blackberry that I did, it's twisting up, but it is tight. And I was, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, you know better, and yet you still continue to make that silly mistake. I don't know, silliness. Okay, so we're good there. She's all mixed. Just gonna get out our temperature gun, see how hot she is. So we're at 59 degrees Celsius, and if I remember, can't remember if it's off, if it's 50 or 80, one sec. Okay, it's 80, so we're fine to add my colors in, so we're gonna do that. We're adding our Optifin, our fragrance, and our color. In we go. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. And then we'll mix that up really well. So it's only gonna give me like a light pink color to it. In fact, I'm looking at the color. I don't know if you guys can see this. And I'm hesitant to add more, but I think I'm gonna leave it be. It's like a dusty rose color right now. I think I'm gonna leave it be just because if I add the dry mica in, it's gonna be more like little specks in there. It's not gonna dissolve the way I want it to. So I think we're gonna leave it as the dusty rose color. And she is pretty much ready to go. So it doesn't take long to make, for sure. Super easy, super quick, and then it just has to be poured into the containers and we're good to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you get a chance, maybe give the recipe a try, see if it works for you. Talk to you later. Bye.